Hey, what's up and welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be doing a tutorial for this compact categorizer that I showed you guys the other day. And it's a pretty big build, so I'm just going to be doing it one step at a time rather than one block at a time because that would take forever and we don't have that much time. But also this video is going to cover versions 1.15 and 1.16, so I'll show you how to build it for both of those, as well as Bedrock and Java Edition. So there's not actually much difference between Bedrock and Java, so I can kind of get everything in one tutorial here. So let's get to it. Alright, so as we get started here, I'm just gonna put little annotations in the top if I'm doing something that's specific to one version or another, and you can always just reference that as I go here, but I'll try to mention it as I go along. Anyway, first things first, you have to figure out the area where you want your user interface. So just figure out how many chests along each side you want, and then go ahead and lay those down. The bottom chests here will be your filter chest, and they're going to be the same level as the floor. And I like putting stairs along here so that you can easily access the chests once you build up your stack of storage. And then for your input, you're going to come along this left side here, and 2 blocks over, you're going to have your input chest. Alright, so once you get that done, you can come down underneath here, and we're just going to build down a little bit, like so. And then we're going to take an observer and face it down, and then we're going to take a couple droppers and face them up like this. So those are droppers, and they're facing into the side of the chest that's towards your walking area over here. So now I'm just going to go along and place a stack like this under each one of these chests. Alright, now that you're done with that, we can come along and place some hoppers going into the bottom ones, like so. And we're going to put our rails along the top here. Oop. Got a mouse that double clicks, so yep. So then we just take our powered rails like that and go along the top. And then we're just going to duplicate this for each of the sides. Alright, so now that that's done, we're going to kind of jump back up here. Now, a lot of these things can be done in whatever order, but yeah. I'm just kind of jumping around here, and now we're going to build up our storage chests here. Now, this is where one of the differences is going to come in. If you're doing this for 1.15, we're going to build 3 chests high, and if you're doing 1.16 plus, we're going to go 4 chests high. So I'm going to do the 4th chest here because most of the people are going to be watching from the future in 1.16. So I'm just going to go around and place all these chests in. Alright, so once all your chests are in, you're just going to come along the back here, and we're going to start placing hoppers into the back of them. Just point them into the chest like so, and we're just going to do that for the backs of all the chests. Alright, so once we're done with that, we have to make the hopper line that goes along the top. So we're just going to come over like this, we'll place one there, and then we'll just bring this back. Oop. Ignore that one, get rid of it, and we're just basically going to point them along like so, and all the way along to the end like that. Alright, so this is where the items are going to be coming back up. They'll go into this hopper line around like that, and then this will be our overflow coming out here and burning them if there's too many in our overflow chest. Alright, so now we got to do the little circuitry around our input chest. So we're just going to take the blue line here, come back from that line and go up like that. Probably don't need that one there. And then we're just going to have some stuff set up like so. This will come up over here, and then it'll go up again by glass. That's got to be glass or half slab or something like that, because we need the signal to not flow back down it. We come like this. Alright, now we got to actually put the redstone stuff in here. So we've got a comparator like that. Then we've got redstone going along the top of this. Redstone dust over here. Then we need some repeaters. 4 ticks, 4 ticks, 4 ticks. And then we're going to need a fence gate. So don't actually have that in any of my hotbar things. So we'll put that facing like that. If you put it like this, it won't work. You've got to face it in this direction along with the redstone. And then we're going to need a couple more comparators, one here and one over here. And then we need to put something like this, a composter, and I believe one fill level on that. And then this on subtract, like so. And then this will be our shutoff, so this guy will come up like that. And let's put redstone dust, torch, and some more redstone dust. And then on this side over here, we can put a lever, and that should be our shutoff. When this is up, this will go on. And actually, you know what, we can go a repeater like that. And basically, it'll subtract from this, so it won't suck that out anymore. So that's our shutoff there. And then this little bit over here detects when the cart fills up sufficiently. So then we got to put some rails in here. We need a detector rail right here like that. And then we'll just put in some powered rails and take a redstone block and slap it over. Oop. Nope, it's going to have to be right here, like so. All right, now you see this rail is not angled upwards like it needs to be. So we're going to come back around to this side, break this top block. You can place any rail in here and then take it out again and replace it with a block. Now you see the rail is angled, and we have to do this afterwards because otherwise if we update one of the adjacent blocks, then it'll go back to laying flat, and we don't want that. So now we've got kind of the input circuitry here. We can move on to the next section. All right, so real quick correction here. This needs to be on compare mode, not subtract. And then that means this has to have 2 fill levels in it, like so. All right, so if we had it on subtract, then it would be subtracting part of the power, so it wouldn't be able to have enough range to get up to this shortcut here. So that's why we do it on compare. So as soon as it hits the compare threshold, it outputs its full value, not the subtracted value. And that way we can kind of have the shortcut over to the gate area. All right, so once we're done with the left side over here, the input, let's do the unloading side. So come down here, and we're just going to build out a little bit more like that, and then come out and up and break that one out. And this will catch our minecarts. We got to go down here and over like that. Then we'll get some droppers. This is going to be our dropper tower, which we'll get to in a minute. But then we have a hopper facing in like that. And let's grab some dark stuff there. And this is going to be our unloading section, like so. And put some glass here. This is going to have to be glass, otherwise it will interfere with more stuff on the back. So now that we've got this coming out, we need to build something around here. Have another hopper coming out the bottom, like so, and this is going to be our item filter. So then if we just build like this, face the hopper like so, and then we'll grab some magenta, because I think that's what we used before. All right, so then we just have to build a quick item filter here. So comparator, redstone, redstone, and then a repeater and a torch like that. And then we can just take a chest like so, and we're gonna have to then fill this up properly. We've got some filter stuff. We'll just fill that over, I think it's 17, 18. Right, and then we're going to be using this black concrete as our blocker item. So we're going to have to put one of these in here. Put one in like that, and now that is our thing configured there. And we got to just drop one in down here as well, because that gets locked into place. So otherwise we lose one out of the first cart when it goes around. So then we need to have the little section that will release the cart from the unloading. So let's grab pink. I think that's the color I used. So we got a line coming off of here with redstone, and then we have server facing that, another pink, a couple more pink, and then up like so. And then we've got repeaters, 4 ticks, and 2 ticks. Like so, and that will launch our cart off of here once it detects that some of the blockers are getting drained out. Alright, so then we have to do the bottom section of this, so we're just going to grab some blue, come under here, like that. This is where the cart's going to fall down and head back up. Just come over like this, then we're going to need a hopper. Base it in there right below where this is going, so when the cart falls down, it'll fall in front of this, and then it'll go back up over it. Go like that, and then we're basically back to our blue. So it kind of come along here like so. Gonna have to run around. We're basically going right under these hoppers right here. Right underneath. And then we're gonna zigzag and go up here. So let's see, we need to something like that, and like that. So now we'll come up, bounce here, and then go up to that rail. Let's grab these like so. And let's just lay them all the way along here. And we need normal rails so we can turn. And we're going to have to edit this a little bit to add the slowing mechanic to it. But for now, this is what we got. All right. So now I believe for the slowing mechanic, we've got that right there, and that will power this thing underneath. And then we just have a normal piston, which will push this way, and it will actually line up a pair of these guys. So it doesn't really matter where along here you put it, but eventually it's going to have to line up like this so that it blinks and causes this rail line to blink. And it'll be like that, and then once it gets over to the end, this is where we're going to have our detectors. So actually we'll throw those in the end of each of these. And I think I'll put it right there. All right, so when it goes over this, it's gonna power this block right here. So that's gonna power our one to shut this off, because we don't want this constantly running. And I'll just shut that off for now. So yeah, when the cart comes over here, it'll power this piston, push it over, create this clock, which will make it go slowly along here. And then when it gets over here, it'll push it back and turn off the clock so we're not lagging everything out. And so then on the inside, we're also going to have these lines that go under the observers. So I'm just going to do those in yellow, like so. And we can just take this, place it down there, and again, right under the observers. This one has to go a little bit further, and make sure it's lining up in the right direction here. So it has to be parallel to this line, or just this corner one. Like, we don't want it like that. So yeah, make sure it faces like that, and then you're good. And then over here, you know, we could just place another one like that, and put our piston there, and then over here under this other one, we'll put a piston like that, and then we've got to get our observers again. So let's say put it here, and replace that, and then like so. And then you just turn it off. All right, so now when the cart comes over this one, it'll push this forward and turn it on, and then this one will push it and turn it back. And so if a lot of people were asking, oh, I gotta adjust the timings, if you're getting stuff flowing all the way back into your overflow chest, which we'll put out here, that means your delay on these is not long enough. So you may have to add this to the third side as well. So you just do something like this, you know, take this and do it over here. Right, but I don't think we need to do it for this size, so I'm just going to leave that off. But if you need to make it longer, that's what you got to do. And then if you want to make it shorter, you basically just take a normal rail and say put it somewhere like after wherever this observer clock is, and that will break it up. So now if we look at this, we'll see it's only pulsing this one, and then you're going to have to add some, well, you can't put it there, but you can add a redstone block or something here to give it a constant signal on this side. So yeah, that's how you would shorten it a little bit to make it a little faster. Anyway, let's reset that and get back to what we were doing over here. All right, so now we got to finish the elevator portion over here. So we're just going to take our droppers and go up like so, and over into the hopper pipe. And then down here, we're going to just put a piece of glass right on top of that end one right there, and then take orange concrete or whatever you have, and we're going to come out here. This is going to be a comparator. We're just going to make a clock here. So something like that, actually, and then redstone dust, and then we're going to loop it back around. The repeater, some redstone dust. Then we're going to come out this way with a comparator. Change this to subtract mode. Oop, that doesn't need to be subtract mode. Go like that. And then a repeater there. And then we're just going to take a line of observers, come up, and this is going to work for both Bedrock and Java. We just come up like this, and then over, and then we'll take our solid blocks along here. Oop, place them along the droppers, like so. And then we're just going to take some observers, go like this. And you can replace this with whatever silent dropper elevator design you want. But this is just kind of an easy one to remember. Basically, you just have a line going up, and then a line, individual ones coming off, facing into a solid block so that they don't power adjacently like that. And then you just got to get a couple more back here. So we need one facing this repeater there, and then that observer right there. And then that should be our clock, which then pulses up and moves the items into the hopper pipe. Alright, so now we're almost done with this bottom section here. We just have to place a few more powered bits along here. So we'll put one right above the end of this because we don't want it to power any of this other stuff. We could actually probably put it right there. But we have to power this top line here, and then we actually need to bring it around like so. Like that, and then we need to power this as well. This is where I'm just going to take torches and place them on the sides there, and we'll do the same over here. And in 1.15 we're gonna need to do it this way, because if we're not gonna have room for sources underneath here like we will in 1.16 plus. So yeah, basically if you go make any one of these sides more than say like 16 blocks long, you're going to need to break it up just remove a slice and then put something above the rail to power it. Because otherwise you can't fit a way to power the rail and then the minecart will stop. So anyway, right in this design here, this works just fine. We kind of come along, make sure it's all powered there, and then this bottom track also needs to get powered since we're not making this little slowing contraption. So we'll just go underneath and replace one of these supporting blocks with a redstone block, and that should do it for the bottom. Next we have to deal with the overflow, so we're just going to come over here and 2 blocks above our input chest we're going to put our overflow chest here, and then we're just going to have some hoppers coming into that like so, and then a dropper facing this way, and then finish off our hopper pipe that's going along the top. So now what this is going to do is it's going to flow the overflow items down into the chest, and then when the chest fills up, it'll backfill into this dropper, and this dropper will start spitting things into lava. So then I just got to build that bit up, and I think I did it in red, so let's stay consistent here. We're just going to build up our little circuit here. Take a comparator output, redstone, repeater, and redstone like that, and then put that on subtract mode, and then if we put in some stuff here, we'll see it getting spit out. Now we just have to add the lava, and that should be good. Let's take this stuff out and grab our red again. Make a little cage for the lava. Like so. And maybe we'll cover that up so nobody accidentally falls in there. Anyway, so now we've got our overflow protection set up, and everything will first flow into this chest, and then if it backfills, like I said, it'll go and get ejected into the lava to get rid of it. And that all fits within the footprint of our build. Alright, so we're almost done here. Just one more thing. We have to do the actual filter bits in the back. And I've put this off to the end because this is one of the few things that is different between versions. So 1.15 and 1.16 are going to be different. So I'm going to do the 1.16 version first because most people are going to be watching this in the future and this is what they're going to be using. So you come down here, and actually, you know what, we put in one too many things right there. So we'll try to fix that. The bottom row here does not need hoppers, so because these are the filter chests, we don't actually want to put items in there. Instead, we want to take solid blocks. So this is going to be my green. Just going to come along here, and I guess I'll build up one slice of it first. So let's get lime glass because we're going to need that. And we take a comparator output from here into a solid block, and then that will come down here like so, and then we need the new target block. Oops, get caught on stuff. So we have a target block like that, and then we're going to take redstone dust, come down like that, and then we're also going to go up with it, and then take a piston, sticky piston, and put a composter on top of that with a fill level, and then we're going to take a block and a comparator output there. Alright, so now when we have items in this chest here, we'll get our power out, which will lock the hopper that will pull items out and then recycle them back into the filter, and we will also push this composter up, which will then lock our input. So let's flip around to the other side and configure that really quick. Again, this is for 1.16 plus, so we're just going to need some unstackable items, so I'm just going to use minecarts here. You need 3 minecarts and then 55 of whatever other item in here. So then if this is just going to be a default filter that isn't configured yet. So if I wanted to filter out, say, redstone comparators, I would put a comparator in here, and then I would take out, okay, I don't know, I just double clicked. Oh well. So I would take out the corresponding thing. So this would go down to 54, because this would be the 55th one. All right, so that's configured, and then if we kind of fly around to the other side, we can see this has been pushed up, which is then locking it there, and it locks it over here. So once you've built one of these contraptions, you can kind of just duplicate them all the way across here. So that's what I'm going to do. Just duplicate that. And I like going from the bottom up here because then you have access to the redstone dust and stuff, and you don't get stuck having to like crawl between there. Also, it's just easier in survival. Okay, I'm absolutely failing now. Alright. This is just going to be a casual video, I guess. Like so. And make sure you put one fill level in all of these. Cakes, pumpkin pies work. They guarantee a fill level, so that's usually what I go with. Cakes are kind of a pain. Pumpkin pies are better. And also you can get pumpkin pie from farmer villagers. Alright, so something like that. And then you just need to make sure that you configure all of these filter chests before you go on to the next section. So yeah, I'm just going to go around and I'm going to fill out these other two sides, and then we'll be back. Alright, so now that we got all those chests configured. Alright, so I just finished putting all these filters in the backside, and I got all the chests configured, so you can see they're all in the up position, which is currently locked. The nice thing about this 1.16 version is we have this open block right here. So where with the 1.15 version we had to use these torches, and if one of our sides went too long, we'd have to put a break in it. We don't actually have to do that for the 1.16 version. We can actually come in here and just slap a redstone block in here, and that will actually do all the powering we need, so we don't need these breaks right here. We'll just come in and throw a block like that. And for some reason that guy's not updating, but there we go. So yeah, that is another advantage of having the 1.16 version. So again, we can come over here and just throw a block in here, and then we can unpower these. All right. That also means we do not need this block here. So that's pretty much it for the 1.16 version. Alright, so now if we want to do the 1.15 version, this is what we get over here. I've left a slice off so I can show you how to build that. Basically, just start on the bottom again, put a couple solid blocks in, and redstone dust on top. Then you need a clear block, so glass or a slab on top, because we need the dust to be able to travel down and up without getting cut off. Then you need a solid block here and a comparator, and this will read out from the filter chest, and then face that into a solid block so we can split the signal up here and down. And then we need some clear blocks, and we're just going to make a little tower here, and again, this is so it doesn't get cut off, and it won't interfere with the hoppers here because the redstone will be redirected. And then we're just going to turn this around by facing this into solid block with a sticky piston, a composter, and we're going to add fill level to that and a comparator coming out to read the signal. And so that will lock it for high. And you'll notice now with 1.15 version, the difference between that and 1.16 is, again, we need this torch here to power the rail because we don't have this open block like we do over here where we can put the redstone block. So again, on this side we have 1.15 and on this side we have 116. Both of these will work in both Bedrock and Java Edition. So maybe just take a screenshot right there and do it based on the version you're using. So one more thing about the 115 version is we have to change the way these chests are set up. So you'll notice in here now, instead of 3 and 55, we have 7 and 46. So this one's already configured, so I have 45 here, and this is the 46th item. So this would filter out powered rails. And then if you're not using slices, you can just fill the whole bottom row with unstackable items, and that will shut off that slice. All right, so that brings us to the very last bit of the setup here, and that is putting in this hopper minecart. Now, before you put it in, you're going to want to make sure that your input chest is empty. Otherwise, as you're setting it up, it's going to be sucking in items, and then it's going to take off before you're done and mess up the whole system. So make sure that's empty, and then come in here, place it on this angled rail, and then you want to configure it with your blocker items like this. So 19111, and leave the first one empty. And that will be then set up to do everything you need it to do. And then there are two more things here that are, I'm going to pretend left to the end to make sure you guys watched all the way through. And that is, one, this has to have an item in here to help reconfigure the hopper minecart as it goes by. And this is probably just going to be some sort of unstackable item. It doesn't really matter so long as it doesn't match the blocker item you have in the minecart. And then the other one is this rail over here needs to extend one farther out, like so. So it goes next to this detector rail, which can then trigger this line. So yeah, if you're asking questions about these down in the comments, that means you didn't watch to the end. So shame on you. But no, seriously, it's all okay. Anyway, I'll see you next time. And until then, take care and happy crafting. Bye.